I grew up in a very Christian-based family, very religious. Was in church every Sunday morning, every Sunday evening. I always had questions. A lot of things didn't make sense to me in Christianity. And when I started researching with Islam and started reading about the history of the religion, a lot of things started to click. I don't believe that we can worship Jesus, God, and then the Holy Spirit. So the way we say Father, Son, Holy Spirit, that's three people in my mind. That was my confusion. So what also made me feel in my heart, in my head a lot of things made sense, but in my heart, what really, I don't know, just clicked for me, I guess. I had a rough year of a lot of, personal things, and it was amazing how just calm, better, at peace I felt just by, connecting. It was something that I felt very strongly about, and I felt better every day that I continued changing things slowly. It's a lonely experience, but I think every time I continued to distance myself, and the more alone I felt, the better I felt, which is bizarre. But I didn't feel like I was alone, if that makes sense. The reason I became interested and intrigued with Islam was I actually was at a work lunch and was presenting a lunch to a physician who was not eating. He was not eating, he was not drinking. He actually was practicing Ramadan, and I didn't know at the time what that was. I didn't know anything about it. But what hit me was the fact that he told us no drinking, water, nothing. He didn't even chew a piece of gum all day, and that was the sacrifice that he had made for a full month. I stopped watching certain TV shows, little things. They know me, they noticed certain things were different. I started dressing differently, and they started asking questions. I didn't go to church on Christmas Eve was the big one. I didn't celebrate Easter and distanced myself. And they asked why. They knew I was researching, they knew I was intrigued, I was interested. But we had to sit down one-on-one or two-on-one, face-to-face with them. And I don't think that my mom or my dad necessarily disagreed with me at any point during that conversation. I think I made some very valid points that they are now researching and looking into, because every time we talk, I've given my mom books. I've had them mailed to her house to read. And I know she's reading and researching. The sacrifices that I'm making are not only for me, but they're for God. And I'm sacrificing myself, I'm submitting myself. And at the end, it's just me and him. And the feeling and understanding of that, I like, any doubt I had, any fear of losing my friends or my family not talking to me, remembering that and knowing that any sacrifice was for the end and for him and for that relationship. Sorry. It's emotional. There's not a lot of things in life that give you an opportunity to start over, I guess, or better yourself and be forgiven in the way that God forgives you. But knowing what I've been through to get to this point, it makes me that much more motivated and positive and just Sure, when everything is gone, there's only God to answer to, and none of this other stuff matters.
أشهد أن
لا إله
لا إله
إلا
إلا
الله
الله
أشهد
أن
أن محمدا
رسول
الله.
الله.
I bear witness
I bear witness
there is no God
but Allah,
but Allah,
and I bear witness
that Muhammad
is the messenger
is the messenger
of Allah.
of Allah.
I have been blessed to welcome so many people to Islam. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. That's an honor from Allah. And subhanallah, every time someone takes their shahada, be it a brother or a sister, they just pull you into their own world of this journey of faith. And you see how Islam grew up into their hearts, into their conscience, into their minds, and reflected sometimes tears, reflected sometimes statements that will amaze you. Someone who just took their shahada would speak something of beauty, such as we heard from Sister Ashley in this great clip. I hope and pray that if it was only one person would be more steadfast on his faith, that if someone saw this sister and reflected on such a journey, that they will embrace Islam themselves, that it will be worth it. I ask you to make dua for her and for everyone who took their shahada, and for all Muslims, that may Allah keep us steadfast on our deen, that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us and grant us His mercy, and Jazakumullah khair. This is your brother Imam Kifah Mustafa at the Prayer Center of Orland Park in Chicago. Assalamu alaikum.